Is there a different room I need to...
Yeah, I'm passing the link right now.
Okay.
Okay. So, there you are in the same room with Jax, and he's kind of explaining a couple things to you as much as he can. He seems very, very frantic, to say the least. He's constantly, to a degree, ununderstandable reasons why he's a little more panicky right now.
Okay.
But he is just moving, clattering, trying to find ways in and out. And you do note one thing. He looks back at Raven, and he says, "You better follow through on your end of the deal, bitch." And Raven's just kind of like crawling all over. She eventually hops over to you and is crawling over to you because you're the highest point in the room. And it's like, yeah. I got this. It's fine.
No. I'm gonna grab that bitch right off my back. If anything...
Who do you want to throw it at?
Oh, I don't want to throw her at anything. If anything, I'm gonna grab her, hold her up so she can look at me right in the face. And I'm gonna tell her, what the fuck kind of mess have you caused this time?
I didn't do shit.
Bullshit. It's always you.
Not this time.
You are always the problem, and for some reason, you're always the goddamn solution, too.
No. This time, I'm actually neither.
I look at the others in the room, if they can vouch for her.
Jack says, yeah, she's actually right this time around. For once. I'm the one that the one that started this whole mess actually was just this giant machine. The one who's going to end this mess, though, is us. So make a wits and subterfuge check.
Wits and subterfuge. Oh, I have nothing in subterfuge. So, 2 dice. Come on. Anytime it wants to show the roll.
Someday.
There we go. All right.
There we go.
Figured
Right.
as much.
So, you do note that there was a slight pause before he said, "we." Barry's he's kind of concerned. You can tell with the look on his face, it's just, something doesn't sit right with him. And Barry's the person who knows Jack's best. But he says, well, I mean, at least we got Odin here. Yeah. Here, give me the fairy. I'll keep her off the floor so she's not bugging you.
Good. And then, fucking, I want Barry and Raven to keep as far away from me as they possibly can.
He finds a place to put her, which incidentally ends up being like somewhere in a corner. He managed to prop up some like junk that's not made out of iron, and props it against the wall, and she's somehow balancing on it like a fucking cat perched up there, surrounded by an ocean. Ishana and Zulfikar look at you kind of, well, Zulfikar is kind of just like, why am I here again?
I'm just
Go ahead and make perception checks as you look around this massive fucking room.
Alright. Fuck. 1.
Alright. So, as you're looking around, you note that everything still is moving around in here. This place does look this entire building is one giant machine. It moves like clockwork. Every second is preordained. Every movement is calculated. Everything is just on time, set, perfect. Nothing seems to move away from the path. Not a path that was that wasn't already preset. And something about that kind of disturbs you. Because you begin to look around, and Jax manages to pull up some interesting files on the side. And as you look, you're kind of getting a glimpse of your whole life. Even right now. Preordained. Calculated. You're supposed to be here. Right now. And in a couple seconds, you're going to continue being here. Now you're going to feel angry. You're going to feel upset. You're going to feel like your entire life has been controlled. Like a machine. You're a clock. You're just a piece. You're just caught in the machine. And go ahead and make a computer and intelligence check.
That is a luck die.
Not much like this song.
Oh god. Alright, well, 3 on a luck die. Alright, there you go.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So, you managed to mess with something so bad that as you're trying to like dig deeper in, you find out something interesting. You find out that you're apparently supposed to fuck up right now. And as soon as you fuck up, you note a couple of odd things. First off, there are a couple things that you can piece together, even for as short a time as you got to look at it. Like this. As soon as it screws up, Barry's going to be confused, Raven is going to continue sitting up there, and it's not going to be helpful at all, because he's crazy. Ishana and Zulfikar are going to be like, what's going on? Except Zulfikar can figure out, wait a second, he set off a fucking alarm. Where's Jax? Jax isn't monitored on this. That's strange. Anyway, so the machine folds up on itself and then begins to form what looks kind of like a bunch of wires, and machines are being put together until eventually something that vaguely represents a person begins to pull themselves out of the wall.
Do I recognize who it might be?
You recognize this as... let's see. You don't actually recognize this particular person. It's just a nameless guardian, but it's still an angel. And it pulls itself out.
Alright.
Go ahead and roll for your initiative.
Where is my initiative now? Okay, I think it's the same thing. 10 plus. Wow. Wow. Ishana being the only person here that I've actually been side by side with at one point.
Yup.
That I recall. Where did you find this, by the way? The background?
I don't know. I found it on... some environment artist did it. I'll unveil the link real quick. Give me a sec. Because I had to cover it up for the Fog of War.
Yeah, because I can totally tell it was
Yeah, UDK.
in 3D and shit.
Yeah. Very well made, too.
Yeah. Alright, let's cover that back up. That way I'm not, like, advertising anything. I just wanted to know. I was just curious. Because it looked pretty cool.
Barry will go last out of you guys, and Zulfikar, who is built for fucking combat.
Where are all these 17s coming from? God damn.
I don't know, man. They're just showing up out there.
Jesus.
Zulfikar is like Ishana, except if Ishana was built for like straight up fucking fighting.
Instead of being more of the...
crafting.
Yeah.
crafting maternal character.
Yeah.
Everybody's mom. Okay, so with that, let's switch it up to God Machine Fight Music 2.
Nice.
Alright, with that, the angel is currently out of the wall and it doesn't have any weapons, but it has these giant, gnarly fucking claws.
How big is the room?
The room is big enough.
Okay.
You can't tell because sometimes it gets smaller, other times it gets bigger. It just keeps building and deconstructing and building again. It's hard to gauge how big this room really is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Okay. You watch as he goes in for a cleave with this weird-looking weapon that you haven't seen before. I mean, you've already seen the Damascus blade before, but since he kind of gave that up, he's got this new, strange-looking thing. It looks a lot more modern, a lot more sleek.
Alright.
It's like a giant. It's like a more updated version of the Damascus blade. It's a giant falchion.
Okay.
And he brings this down for a fucking cleave and does he does 11 damage before armor, but the armor knocks it down to about he's got I'll just tell you straight, he's got like 6 armor.
Jesus Christ.
These guys are not easy to damage, but every single attack done to him that goes through will tear off a piece of armor. So his armor's down to 4 now. Let me find a pen to write some shit down. Notes.
I just hope a punch can hit hard enough to do something.
You've got your weapons back. You've got everything.
Like, in what way of everything?
Oh, like all the shit that you had before.
Okay. Oh, I gotta open up that page then. Just so I know the stats of the weapon.
Yeah.
Still not a cannon, but soon, hopefully, one day.
So his armor was at 6, it's down to 5 now. And they do not dodge. They just don't feel compelled to, because they're fucking scary.
I just don't give a fuck.
Give a shit.
Alright.
Alright, so Zolfikar's turn is done. Angel's up. Every single time it's their turn, they reconstruct, and they repair 2 armor. Actually, he'll go up 2 armor. It's not repair, it's building a brand new set. So his armor's up to 7 now.
With the 2 still missing?
Like, it started off, no, with the 2 added back onto it. That's its turn. It spends its turn reconstructing and attacking.
Oh god, okay.
And it's gonna go for Zolfikar, because he's the closest one to him now. And Zolfikar gets a chance to dodge. His dexterity, no, his lowest of his wits are dexterity, and his athletics. Alright, he managed to dodge out of the way, fortunately. Odin, you're up.
Alright, well, there's pretty much only one thing I can do, and that's I'm gonna try and move up. Considering I gotta try and get an idea of how the fuck this thing's gonna work myself. So
Sure.
I'm gonna
So-
try and get in and slam on it.
Okay. Do you have info on how much damage you're? Do you have anything else besides just punching it?
I've got the shotgun gauntlets.
Okay, so the shotgun gauntlets will add in extra damage.
Okay.
So how much damage do the shotgun gauntlets do?
4.
4? Okay, so when you punch, you will do 4 automatic lethal, if you manage to hit.
Okay. And then
So-
I'll just roll my brawl for the standard hit.
Yeah, strength and brawl.
Alright. Boxing. Boxing. Oops.
Does boxing work different with God Machine? Further special, like, rule updates?
There weren't any rule updates, but there was something that I took called, God, where the fuck was it? Area of Expertise,
Uh-huh.
which was a new type of merit, which allows me to put in whatever specialty I call for the area of expertise that's as a specialty that I have and an ability. It gains +2 instead of 1.
Okay.
So, under boxing, with my strength and brawl both maxed out with boxing as 11, but now it's 12
Nice.
because I've got
Alright.
because I got the doubled up specialty.
12 plus 4 automatic successes, so you got
Dicks.
6. It's okay, you hit him. So
Okay.
you hit him and you tear off armor. You don't punch through it, but you bring his armor from 7 to 6. Which
Okay.
is kind of important.
Can I roll a second attack because I do have the ambidextrous and shit like that? I don't know if
I don't. I know that we talked about it before, but ambidextrous rules out like attacking multiple times. Just because it's. I think something with that was just straight up with the God Machine update. We found out that ambidextrous doesn't actually let you attack twice. It just lets you use the other hand if you are in a situation where one arm's cut off.
or busy.
Yeah. Or
Okay.
You get the idea. So that's kind of how it works. At least that's what I know of.
All right. Well, then, what are the rules for attacking twice in a turn? If that's the
There are
case.
only a couple, I think there are only a couple of them that actually do it. There are only a few feats. Like, there's the gunslinger merits, which allow you to attack twice, I think. But I'm not sure about the God Machine updates. We'll have to look into
Okay.
it. For
Yeah.
now, we're just going to consider it one shot, and that's it.
Okay.
And we'll talk about it with Wayne after and see what the rules are, and we'll revise an update. We're all kind of learning this. I
Yeah.
have no idea what the fuck I'm doing.
Alright.
You get it. Alright, so you nail him for 6 damage, which is enough to tear off another piece of armor before it reconstructs.
Ugh. Well,
You guys are fighting a fucking monster.
Yeah.
Unlike anything you've ever fought before.
well, now that its turn is up, there's 4 people to go, so hopefully someone
yeah.
can wear through it somehow.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fight to just beat off its armor and get into the meat of the damage.
Yeah.
Ares' turn.
Oh. Oops.
He looks over at Jax and says, Dude, Stevie, give me a shotgun. And with that, Stevie's already got the shotgun out and throws it at him. He just pulled it out of the computer and dropped it down there. So he runs over, picks up the shotgun, and jumps up and pumps ammo into this fucking thing. Shotguns, specialty. He would have area expertise in the same vein as you, but with a shotgun.
Yeah, so in that instance, it would be shotgun weaponry, shotgun firearm specialty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so he does, 3. I need to look up a shotgun.
Which one?
What's the standard damage on your shotgun?
The one that I have is a Saiga, so it's like the Russian automatic,
Uh-huh.
which is 4 and 9 agains.
Alright, we'll go with that one.
Yeah. There's another
Oh,
shotgun
did
that
you roll
also
your-
does 4 and 9 agains, but I don't remember what it was.
Did you reroll your 9s?
I did not. Because 9s aren't nice and green. You want me to?
Yeah, go for it. Any extra damage will help you at this
2.
point.
Okay.
This guy's a fucking monster.
I don't think about it. 9 agains aren't the most common thing in the world. Wow. Really? So add an extra 2 onto what I did. Oh, what the fuck? Okay. Alright, 9s are that important.
So, you managed to punch through its armor a little bit more and do a little bit more damage.
Yeah.
Okay, so he managed to get into it. He pumps in ammunition, but it doesn't seem to be enough to... It seems to be enough to get a little bit through, and he does 1 damage to it.
Ugh.
Bringing the armor down to 5.
Holy
Shauna's turn.
shit.
Yeah, this guy's a toughie. Ishana seems to be having a little bit of a hard time trying to figure out which weapons she wants to pull out. And as you're looking, she pulls one out and looks at it, and for some reason, all of her weapons seem a little bit duller here. They had a certain shine, a shine of life, of a soul living inside of these weapons. And yet every single one she pulls out is dull and empty, lifeless. And she's already kind of like graven right now. She's really weak, really ill. But she's getting a lot more flustered with the fact that all of her weapons are pretty much fucking like useless at this point, except for just being cold, heartless metal.
Wonder if I notice her, like, confused about the weapons.
Yeah, you definitely notice, and you know that it's gonna hurt her in terms of her fighting capability here.
I'll, tell her, snap out of it. This is no time to worry about how shiny your shit is. Regardless of how strong you think those things are right now, we need to do this. You need to help.
She managed to finally find one blade that seems to hold its own. It's not shining quite with the intensity of the others, but it seems to that seems to be the way that it was built. And she draws out the Masamune.
Huh.
This baby gives 8 agains.
I missed the what was it, the wind cutter?
Yeah, the Kusanagi.
Yeah.
Nice.
Alright.
And it does 3 automatic lethal, so she actually punches him down to about 3. She punches him down by 3, bringing his armor down to 4, and his damage up to out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's up to 7 out of his total HP pool. The machine just does not seem to give a shit, though. You see Zulfikar go in for a heavy slice towards the thing's skull. Christ. And you see this weird look. You note that there's a strange red glow that seems to hover around his shoulders, and it goes inside of his arms. It seems to make him more powerful. Alright, does 4 automatic.
I take
no,
note of
3.
this, just in my own mind.
Brings his armor down to 3 and hits him for 3 damage. Alright, Angel's turn. He goes back up in armor.
Yeah.
Reconstructs itself to 5. But it only seems to be stacking on more armor. Like, it doesn't anticipate the, it doesn't even understand the notion of it taking any damage. And then it takes a swing at Ashana.
Cold, lifeless machines.
Yep.
God, this is so fucking cool looking.
Oh, damn! Poor Ashana.
Are those on 9s or just 10s?
Huh?
I was gonna say are they re-rolling 9s or 10s? Looks like it's just
No, they're only
10s.
re-rolling 10s, yeah. Okay, Ishana needs to dodge. Oh, I hope she dodges.
So dodge comes after the attack now?
Yeah, basically you try and, you roll it to basically try and counteract it. It's like counter-rolling.
And whatever
So-
successes you get,
Subtract
take
the
away from the... Okay.
Yeah. And then armor automatically takes success away, in the same way that weapons do automatic damage.
Okay.
Makes a lot more sense. Shauna's dex is that, and her athletic. Okay.
Alright.
Ooh, good luck, Ashana. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Oh, I can feel it. Ooh, alright. She just took 8 damage. And she wasn't in a good place to be with, to begin with. And you watch, and normally, when she gets a hit, it turns to dust. Now it's actual blood. She looks a little surprised by this, too. Kind of stumbles back. You're up, Odin.
That she's bleeding?
Yeah.
Alright. I'm actually gonna... Because I do have this... Son of a bitch. Oh, okay. I'm actually gonna run using combo blows, so I can actually make 2 brawl attacks in a turn.
Okay.
The drawback is I have no defense on
Sounds good.
until my next run up, so...
Alright. So you won't be able to dodge.
No.
Sounds good.
So... am I gonna take any minuses on the second one, or are you just gonna let it stay as the full 12?
Stay as the full 12 unless it said otherwise.
Okay. So... 1, 2, 3, 4... Okay, so 4...
That's 8 on the first shot.
One, two. And then another 4.
Okay, so each one is separate attacks. The first shot for a grand total of 8, subtract 5. You do 3 on the first shot, bringing his armor down to 4. So let's see how much he has now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, your second shot against 4 armor. You do 4 damage to it.
Alright.
Bring his armor down to 3.
Okay.
A sec. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. Barry. He turns the gun. He turns the shotgun to full auto.
Oop. Alright, so...
I forget how full auto works on a single target.
God, some of the others knew the rules. I wasn't totally sure. I think it was like...
Nah, whatever. We're gonna have him pump shots into him.
Okay. Alright, so just so to make note, next time combo blows, the second attack does take a -1.
Okay.
I just never actually wrote that down.
We'll keep an eye on that for later.
That
Thanks
makes
for letting me know
sense,
that.
though.
It does.
Um,
Whoa, Barry! You said it was 9 against, yeah?
yes.
Barry, bringing the heat. 4 plus 4.
Damn.
8 damage. Whoa!
That's a hell of a shotgun blast. Nice.
Ishana picks herself up off the floor and goes in for a final strike using her willpower.
Really?
Yeah, this thing's done. With that, she brings the Masamune down and impales it back into the computer, and then slices it in half. Putting it back neatly inside of its sheath. To which he falls apart in typical samurai death fashion.
Fantastic.
Alright, with that, you guys defeat the thing, and Ishana kind of slumps against a wall somewhere. Trying to figure out how, okay, I've never actually almost been dead. This is kind of weird. How do I deal with this? And she's trying to, like, find ways to, like, patch herself up.
Do we even have anyone around who can help with that? Is there even anything to patch her up with?
Jax would know, but he is very, very busy trying to keep things running, as though he knows what's going on. He's just hammering away as fast as he can.
Yeah.
He's looking for something. You begin to tell that he's not trying to fix things right now in the other world. That's VL's job. He's trying to find something right now. He's just going from page after page, just moving as quickly as he can. You can see beads of sweat beginning to form on his brow. So, do you ask him any questions as he's going at it? He seems like he can talk. At least he can multitask enough. He's trying to, like, communicate to Barry how to help Ishana out. Says, alright, I need you to go, get your jacket, take it off. You're gonna tear it to strips, you're gonna wrap it around her, make sure that she's not bleeding out, okay? Make sure you wrap it tight, keep pressure on it, and she should be fine, okay? And he's just going at it again.
God, yeah. We're gonna ask him, did you know you'd find me here? Did you have any idea?
No. The honest answer, no. I had no idea that you were even here, but that's also because no one actually knows who you are, except for older DMH members, bro.
God, I'm still trying to figure out how the fuck I managed to get here myself. The last thing I remember, I was in a cabin in the woods on a mission trying to stop some cultists, and I fell down a slope that managed to come out of nowhere, and there was just a machine. Just a long hall, glass hall, and a machine, and
He actually stops for a few seconds. Wait, a glass hall? Did the room look kind of weird, like things weren't working the way they're supposed to, as he continues to clatter away?
essentially, and no matter what I tried to do, it seemed like for some reason the machine was sentient in some form, but it didn't respond to any of the questions I had. It just kept telling me I wasn't supposed to be there.
Okay, yeah, I think I know what's going on. I accidentally messed with some stuff the last time I was here that might have gotten you into a debug room from the sounds of it. I was dicking around with some of the controls in there, trying to figure out how to fucking deal with this thing.
What do you mean the last time you were here? You've been here before?
Yeah, 4 days ago when the machine first came down and took everybody, I snuck in here. And I've been trying to study it, and after 4 days and a lot of drugs, you note that he has dark circles under his eyes. He has not slept in the last 4 days. He says we are dealing with something so massive. I can't even like fully comprehend the fucking thing. It's ridiculous.
How the hell did you even know how to find a place like this?
I just got lucky. Let's just put it that way. That's the only way I can describe it. I was not in the area when it showed up. I saw it when it did come, and I came back. The entire hotel was gone. Everybody else was gone. And it began to move away, but I managed to track down some weird glitchy looking things and started following it that way. It doesn't make sense unless you were there. I can't really explain it, but I managed to follow it to a factory that was on the outskirts of town. Apparently that's where they took everybody, and they shoved them all into these tubes and machines. It's like something straight out of fucking Matrix, except much bigger.
What do you mean by a glitch?
Well, when the machine sent out its little soldiers, I guess we can call them angels. That's about the only thing I can really equate them to. They showed up, they took everybody away, and these things, as they moved around, could glitch through walls. They could just move through them. And when they move through certain buildings, they leave behind a residue. A strange residue that fucks with reality just a little bit. Bricks shift around just out of the corner of your sight. Carpet looks like it's still rendering, if you know what I mean. It's not something doesn't seem right about it. And when you stare at it long enough, you can kind of see it.
Real quick, just then, this is out of character, real quick. Jax is part of DMH?
No, he's not DMH.
Okay, so...
But he is a very well-known ace of spades.
Wait, fuck, I want to try to turn my attention to Shauna, and hopefully she's not, like, still too much overwhelmed.
No, she's getting better. She's just figuring, okay, I need to be more careful and not get attacked more.
Because Ishana was with me and a couple of others during the last thing that I remember.
Yeah.
So, I'm actually going to try and turn my attention to Ishana right now and ask her what has been going on the last couple of days. Jax, you said 4 days ago?
Yep.
Where were you, Ishana?
She looks up at you, and she's kind of letting Barry attend to her. Zulfikar looks kind of concerned, but he's trying to look like he's not, really. As he's kind of like, oh no, is she gonna be okay? Zulfikar's in a weird place right now. But Ishana looks at you, and she says, through a heavy breath of just fatigue, and the lack of spiritual power here is just crushing her. She is practically suffocating right now from the complete void of souls. She looks up at you and says, I was in the Valley of Kings. I was trying to recover a little bit more. 4 days ago I was still there, and only just this morning I was informed that everybody was taken already. And I came as quickly as I could, and that's about all that happened.
Do you remember a mission in Texas in a cabin?
She shakes her head. No, I don't.
Not from
Jack.
just a few days ago, but from any point in time.
She pauses and thinks, I do recall something. Yes, I was there with you. That was many years ago.
Okay.
Jax looks over and says, the God Machine basically put a fabrication, a false server in, if you will. A second reality in which you guys didn't meet up with each other. Basically, the Cardians never ran into the Western Division, our Western Initiative. And because of that, it would go back through your past, it would replay the cycle of your life over and over again. This is your prison. You actually were not supposed to get out. You're supposed to be trapped in that reality forever.
I was supposed to be stuck in that fucking place on a loop.
Yes. And that's what's happening to the rest of the gang right now.
Well then, as fucking strange as this is, and as much as I really want to leave this mechanical hellhole, I do have to give you my thanks for opening that container.
He nods and says, yeah, couldn't leave you guys in there. I've been trying really hard to figure out ways to get you guys out. And look, He actually stops for a few seconds. I don't have much time to explain this, but I need you to understand something. Barry, hop onto it, and Barry gets onto the computer. He actually seems to kind of know what he's doing, and he's clacking away. He's going about it as fast as Jax is. Jax was, and he says, just keep looking for that file I was talking to you about, okay? And Jax walks with you and says, come with me, man. He goes over to a small area off to the side. One weird-looking area, which shows a strange-looking set of lines. Says, alright, take a look at this. Now, you see here a line, right? And you see a dot next to it. And it just keeps going, right? And as you're looking at it, it's a series of lines and dots. And it kind of just goes for a while, and it just rotates around. You can put your hands on it and rotate it. It spins in place. And you go through it until you get to a point where it's kind of a fairly short line, short-ish. And right at the end is a dot. He says, alright, this is the actual end of the world. Then he scrolls back several hundred dots. This is where we are. And he touches his point on the line, and it brings up, underneath it, unfolds a series of images. It shows every single time the world starts over, the God Machine has a certain set of people that it brings out into the world to shape the world. Every huge religious figure, every big, important historical icon. Every single person is already preset, and it has certain preset revolutions of how the world is supposed to work on this particular sector. And he says, alright, following the patterns we got here, and he goes along down the line, moves it around, and says, okay, as we get further in, we find ourselves in a position of this. And he shows an image that looks like two towers and a plane crashing into it. Scrolls through a little more. Wars happening in Iraq, Afghanistan, all these things that have just been happening over the years. President Obama goes through more, until finally, about around what you can gauge about 20 years after. 20 years. I want to say actually no. 20 years since that time. In approximately, and he looks at you. He says, this is where we are. There are 3 more events that are going to happen before the end of the world. And everything is preset, predestined to make this end happen. And there's nothing any of us are able to do to stop it. Is this making sense?
I can sort of understand what's going on. How long away is the end?
3 years.
So, what? One event each year for the next 3 years?
Yes. One big event over the course of the next 3 years is what's currently in the plan. And he just shows you everything that has been recorded here has happened in history. It scrolls back to other previous times before the world ended. He shows you them, and they happen exactly according to plan. The God Machine has laid out a singular plan, and it works. It controls the world. It controls the universe. It is destiny itself.
Are there any images or any information about what the other events are? Or is it just simply or is the computer simply noting event here, here, and here?
It actually has certain preordained events. The next event, give me a sec, I actually have to, figure them out right now.
Okay. Because as he goes over him, I kind of want to ask him, you say nothing can stop the coming events to lead to the end of the world. But I think we can.
No. It's, as of right now, so to speak, it's impossible. Even being in here was preordained. Imagine if something knew exactly what you were going to think hundreds of thousands of years, billions of years, before you ever thought of it. It knows exactly what you're going to do. Even as I give you this information, it can know what you will do next. And
Jack.
it will alter events to make sure this continues to happen. Its cycle continues. It does not stop. It cannot be stopped. Because this thing is law itself.
Jax, how in the hell do you know so much about this place and this thing?
I've been stuck in here actually for the last 3 days. And actually this particular room, and after digging through a lot of shit in that computer over there and looking at this thing, I can make some connections here. Especially since my last 3 days were also completely preordained.
So if you've been here before, clearly you got out to gather the couple of others that are here.
Yes.
And are now back in. You have to know the way back out, correct?
Yes, and I will help you guys get back out.
But why did you bring them back in the first place?
Bring who back in?
Or bring the others here in the first place? Like, why leave and come back with more?
Because I need the help. The God Machine knows that I'm here. I also needed to strike a special deal. In order to make certain things happen. Suffice to say, I think I can buy you guys a chance. I can change the percentage from 100% complete destruction to maybe 99%. That's as good as it's gonna get, and that's a hell of a lot better than 100.
Well, considering you at least seem to know what the hell you're talking about here. I don't have a whole lot of other choice other than to tag along and make sure this works out.
Yeah, and I'd appreciate it. It's good to have you here, Odin. We're gonna need all the muscle we can get.
There is another question I have, though.
Sure.
The boss.
She's in there too. That's why it was so important I came back.
She is within this structure.
She's inside this structure, yeah. She's also in that alternate reality.
Well, then that's first on the list.
Exactly. But we gotta leave it down to the guys. They'll go at her and try and find her in whatever order they can, but we're not leaving without her. You know I'm not gonna leave without her. And I know you won't either.
I like the way you think.
And with that, he goes back and gets back onto the computer and just continues to search and search and search. And you can see how fast he's going through this. He's been through a lot of these things. There was just something that he's looking for, and he knows that if he finds it, he can fix something. But right now, he's just rushing it. And he says, alright guys, just get ready. After the first angel shows up, there will be more. And it's a lot sooner than the 5 hours I was expecting. We've got about 4 hours left. Oh shit, this is gonna be a hell of a ride, guys. Alright, so the first event will be... yeah, just you're gonna have to give me a few minutes to actually figure out what the next events are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
next big event, the ocean begins to rise.
Hmm.
And it will swallow nations.
Let's see. So I guess as the search continues, I don't know if I can try and acquaint myself with the one other person here that I'm not totally familiar with,
Sure.
which would be Zulfikar.
Yep.
I want to ask him where is it that you pulled that strength from? That's not natural.
Zulfikar looks at you, and he seems to actually kind of respect you. Oh. You're, Odin, yes?
Yes.
Interesting. I didn't imagine you to be that big. Well, as it turns out, I'm able to draw upon the power of condemned souls. Something a little bit different than Ishana's over there. Because he looks at her with kind of the smug look of, heh, mine works, why doesn't yours?
So you are an immortal as well.
Yes. I was actually Ishana's first apprentice, and her last.
I see.
What about you? What are these things on your arms? As he goes and takes a look at them, he seems very fascinated. Actually, unlike Ishana, who seems very technologically challenged, he's very tech savvy.
Because Ishana's more on the old craft,
Yes.
smithing and rune crafting.
Zulfikar, on the other hand, as he explains more about himself, he doesn't seem to have any problem talking about himself. You find out a couple of things. First, every great technological revolution that's happened in terms of weapons, he had a hand in some way, shape, or form. Including the Manhattan Project, including the Iron Age, including just a number of different technological super jumps.
So you're a pretty old one yourself.
Oh yeah, he's been around for a while. Since the beginning of... Yeah, since the dawn of the Iron Age. That was when he created the first Damascus blade, which he's famous for.
However, you seem confused, or at least interested in the suit, which leads me to believe you didn't help the inventor who created this.
Not this one. Of course, naturally other people create brand new inventions. This particular suit, on the other hand, I've never seen before, though I recognize the guns that are strapped to your arms.
A bit of a modification to give my punch a little more punch.
I like it. Now what say you to switching out some ammunition? And to which he opens up the inside of his jacket and reaches in for a small case. And this case is very high-tech looking. It's nice in glass, it's got nice metal corners, it's really fancy. And inside are 16 shotgun shells. It says, I just got done making these. I was wondering if you wanted to try them out.
What do they do?
So you know what happens when you... Imagine, if you will, and he almost seems a little bit more on the romantic side of explaining how beautiful weapons work. He loves his craft. He loves it so much. Imagine, if you will, I have this small case right here. He pulls out one. Inside this metal container contains the force of a miniature nuclear fucking warhead. To which, upon firing, it will go until it hits its target. And once it hits its target, it will combine two chemicals together, which will fuse and create an explosion. The likes of which very few things are going to be able to survive. I don't care if it's a fucking angel or not. It's going down.
Have you ever tested these in any firing range or anything?
Well, the firing just keeps exploding, so I imagine they're doing their job.
And you can guarantee this isn't gonna take my own arms off?
Only if you are within... See, here's the beautiful part of this. Upon contact, it doesn't just blow up in all directions, similar to how most other bombs work. It actually is a focused blast that will blast away from you. In a sense, I'm safe right here if it decides to detonate. Because it will just go that way.
So what you're telling me is that if I do collide my fist with something and set one of these off at the same time, I am totally fine.
You are 100% fine. Can't guarantee anything for the other guy, though.
Then I will take
Would you
these.
like to-
I will test drive them, and if I like it, I want more.
Well, unfortunately, we're on opposing sides after we walk away from this, so we'll see.
But I take his case, and I start swapping out shells.
But I'm not above helping out right now, especially when we're in such a dire situation. Here are the events. The oceans will rise and swallow nations. A giant volcanic eruption will happen the year after that, which will darken the skies. And the final is the beginning of the last ice age of this civilization. Those are the major catastrophic events that will occur before the world goes to shit.
And then let me guess, the machine resets everything by the ice melts, the world floods over, and everything starts anew.
That's absolutely correct.
Fantastic.
Oh yeah. Jax is just working and working, trying so hard to find an answer. And Zulfikar, he seems pretty pleased with himself. He's actually very curious to see what you'll do. Says, you know, Ishana and I like to make a nice time of collecting champions, and Ishana just gives him this death glare. But she doesn't say anything. He says, you know, if you're interested, I have no problems with making weapons for the strong. After all, who better to wield my weapons than those who know how to use it properly? I already have one of them. Andrew was his name? Andrew. Good guy. Seems to have taken a liking to Longinus, the spirit that killed Christ.
You
Ishana just
gave
looks
that to a normal person?
Certainly. It was given to a normal person when I first made it. And turns out he christened it with the blood of Christ. In Andrew's case, he's a little bit different. I can sense that he has strength to him. In the same way I can sense strength in you.
Tell me first, why do you say we are on opposing sides?
Oh, because of her. And he looks at Ishana.
Bad blood over millennia?
You could say that. She doesn't approve of the weapons I make, yet here we are, and my weapons are the only ones that work. He just looks at her with just the biggest shit-eating grin on his face.
Man.
She just stays quiet.
What a tough decision. That's actually very difficult.
Regardless of whether or not you are in the Guardians or not, being my champion gets you several interesting benefits, of which are testing my weapons for me, prototyping them, if you will. First, hands on brand new tech. Or you could stick around with her. And she motions at Ishana. Stick with her nice, happy, fluffy spirit shit. Her silly nonsense that doesn't work in the face of clearly technological monsters.
What is your relationship with Sachi?
Non-existent. We haven't met. I know of her. I know she's not going to like me because she favors Ishana.
Oh my god. Hmm.
Though how a woman ever came to such power is beyond me. And that's when you can tell, yes,
Oh.
he is a misogynist.
Oh, you smug fuck. Oh
See,
my
they don't
god.
understand us like you and I do. We're men, after all. We know better. We know that it's important to be able to stand up and fight for what's yours, instead of sticking with the past.
And yet,
If we're ever going to see tomorrow, we are going to need every advantage we can get. If what this Jax fellow says is true about the end of the world.
and yet Sachi is my boss who put me where I am. Put me in the position of power that I currently hold.
Like a mother to a son.
I cannot defy anything that Sachi gives.
Of course, I understand that, but you and I, we can keep secrets. We don't need to talk to Sachi about this. After all, what does she care where weapons come from? As long as you guys continue to be the most powerful on the block. Wouldn't you serve her better when you have better weapons of which to enact her will?
I give you this. I can take your offer to be your tool of destruction, in a sense. Because by every means, I do wish to become the greatest fucking soldier on the face of this planet. And others, if I can manage that. But if at any point there is something that happens and you cross me or Sachi, everything is off.
I'll accept the deal. And with that, he extends a hand.
As do I.
You shake on it, and with that, you feel a slight... You feel slightly like you just got hit with a strange connection to this man. And in a sense, you will almost always know where he is, and he will know where you are. He says, Odin, my brand new champion of the modern age. We'll do good work together. And we'll fix this planet. At the end of the day, my interest is still saving the planet. And with that, he takes out 2 more cases of nuclear rounds. He hands them over to you. Each set contains 16 shots. You currently have 3 sets of 16 shots.
Okay. Should I keep track of this?
Yes.
Okay.
These shots are kind of deadly.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down. So 3 sets of 16, it's 48.
These shots are deadly because they go straight to aggro.
So, I guess...
So when you use these shots in any shotgun, doesn't matter what it is, it will always come out at 3 aggravated damage for damage.
Wow. Okay. Still running off all the same rules that the shotgun works too, right?
It runs off of 8 agains.
Okay. So forget the 9 again rule. As long as I guess as long as I have these.
Yes. As
Okay.
long as you have these rounds, you will have 3 aggravated at 8 again rule.
Okay. That's a fun little thing to note.
Oh yeah. So Like I said, you have a strange connection to the guy. You seem to just... You understand him a little bit better, so to speak. You understand that his motives are not for evil. He is in a very heated competition with Ishana. Extremely heated. You're not quite sure why they have a problem with each other, but they do. But that doesn't override his sense of justice. He made weapons initially to punish evil. The Damascus Blade was only meant to take in the souls of sinners and generally bad people. Murderers, rapists, all the things that make the world bad.
Mm-hmm.
He took them and punished them by putting them into the Damascus Blade. He made them work for their redemption. With their very souls. He's not a bad guy, he's just cruel.
Hey, so am I.
Exactly.
Oh,
You
go
understand
figure.
each other. Throughout the years, he continued to make these weapons and gave them in favor of nations that seemed to be a little bit less fucked up than the other ones. He gave the Manhattan Project to America to say fuck you to the Japanese and the Germans. Also because the Germans double-crossed him. He didn't like that. And the Japanese didn't want him. So he said, fine, fuck you guys. You guys are assholes. I'm gonna go help the Manhattan Project. We're gonna go build a fucking nuke.
Because the only thing now is to maybe try and find out a little bit more about what that feud is between the two, as well as hope that I get something on a more permanent level of his creation.
He says we can take care of that once we're out of here. Unfortunately, this is all I've got on me. Unless you wanna... He opens it up and he shows a list of very historical looking weapons. He's very much like Ishana in this regard. He has a list of weapons. And he says, I don't think any of these are very suitable for you, though. You're a very different class of champion.
I do not believe in extensions of one's fists. Just a fist.
And that's why I like you. We'll get you something once I get out of here. I very much enjoy. And he, like, looks at your hand, and he looks kind of like he's taking in the measurements with his own brain. Okay, I understand. Ah, I see. I have a thought. I have an idea. And he goes off to the corner and just begins to, like, write stuff down. He's thinking very... You can see, compared to Ishana, when Ishana makes a weapon, she builds it with a lot of soul, a lot of thought, a lot of craft and care, almost like a mother to a child. Zulfikar, on the other hand, he's a genius. He is fucking brilliant. You could just see the gears turning in this guy's head. He was made to build weapons. And he just goes through it, and he's thinking of something, and it's in the form of a gauntlet. You can tell. He's got something fun for you. He says, every single champion needs a weapon. A weapon that will be remembered in history forever. I will make you something.
And I look forward to it.
Oh, I look forward to seeing you use it. And Barry's kind of just like, dude, this guy's like mean to Shauna. What's the deal? If you got, and you can kind of get the feeling that if you wanted to ask more, you could probably ask more.
I am curious as to like a little bit more on the details of why these two disagree so much. If it's anything further than his essentially cold way of creating things.
It has a lot to do with that. And he explains to you a couple of things as he kind of stuffs the notepad back into his jacket. He seems very, very energetic and excited now. He hasn't had a big project like this in a while, and it just seems to fill him with so much energy. But he looks at you and says, as he adjusts his jacket, oh, that's simple. We were married. Still are, as much as she denies it. And, when I built the Damascus Blade, we realized that our two philosophies are extremely different. She prefers to make weapons that are meant for legends and champions. But as we all know, legends are only history. Champions can still rise, though, if you look to the future. And that's where I come in. My philosophy is to keep on setting the standard. And my champions are always on the cutting edge of technology.
Hmm.
Certainly lacks soul, but it does not lack efficiency. After all, he motions first to the rounds that you have currently in your suit. What works and what doesn't, as he points to Ishana and her many swords that are just dull and lifeless. And she seems to be very much keeping them in a place where they can be safe inside of her jacket. She's just kind of bundling them up and just like she almost looks like a mother who's holding on to her sick child. Is what she looks like with these weapons.
Hmm.
I could always give her one of my weapons if she asked for it, but she's too prideful. Women.
It's like out of character and everything. So if these two are together, so what about during the time of I guess Artis's character?
Artist's character?
Yeah.
That never happened.
Okay.
Yeah, that essentially never happened.
Okay, because if I recall
I know that they
correctly,
got married.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That was
That
just
never-
something else that was on my mind. Is what?
Yeah, what became of that? Yeah, no, I redacted that in favor of this because.
Okay.
eh. But at this point, Jack seems to have found something, and he looks back and says, "All right, guys. Unfortunately, I found what we need to. I added the unfortunate in for a good reason, and that's when you hear something outside shift. Two things shift. It says, yeah, we got some visitors. And that's when you see angels being created in the walls.
In this room?
Two faceless, yeah, in this room. Two faceless, two nameless angels. They're coming in, and they're building themselves up. And if you get to them now, their armor is only at 3 each, as they continue to try and construct themselves. So you actually have a better shot at taking them down earlier than later. So with that, we're going to go ahead and roll initiatives again.
Alright. +7. Nope, not a question mark. Oops. Alright, well, just 17. Forgot to do the plus and just did the greater than 8 thing again. Same number, so... Alright. Oh, fuck.
Alright, 17. And, I'll just keep them at the same. Actually, we'll just keep the same initiative order.
Okay. Just roll for the 2 new ones. I wonder if any of this music is royalty. Or royalty free, I should say.
I don't know. They're all off of SoundCloud.
Because the problem is that because of Twitch, Twitch runs as VODs after they did a merger with YouTube.
Uh-huh.
They run the same codec that YouTube uses in terms of music. So what happens is in the VODs, if it's any bad, or in the VODs, if the music is not royalty free, it will actually mute all the audio until it stops.
That's kind of weird.
But if there's any other way that I need to upload this, I'm pretty sure OBS saves the video files.
Good.
So it should actually be something that we can hold on to.
Okay. Well, as long as we can do that, we can do that just fine. Okay,
Yeah.
so Wynn's trying to get Paul to join in right now.
Oh. Ow.
Yeah.
At least I hope OBS does it automatically, because there's a streaming and then a recording button, so I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see what happens. If shit turns out that it did not fully record, or it music is causing the audio to be muted, then this will pretty much just get lost. I'm not sure if that's a horrible thing, but it'll definitely be a lesson learned. I don't know. Hopefully OBS keeps it. It should. By the way, Win was saying that when you stream it, it like automatically records things as well.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Let's get into the fight.
Mm. Ow, fuck.
Give me a sec. All right. So. Zulfikar's up first. He's attacking Angel 1. And he does have 8 agains on this weapon. He gets 8 agains only when in the presence of another champion. Namely you! That really fucking sucks.
5 rerolls, nothing out of it.
Yep. Oh well. He still does 9 damage, subtract 3, 6 lethal. That's still a hefty amount.
That's pretty good.
Odin, you're up with your brand new weapons.
All right.
Also, armor piercing.
Oh, beautiful.
They're armor piercing 5.
Jesus.
As of right now, I might adjust that later. Just keep that in mind.
Okay. Holy shit. Alright, where'd I?
It's pretty heavy.
Alright.
Let's make it armor piercing 3, just to be safe for now.
Okay. I'm just gonna give it 1. Oops. 12D. Okay. Oops.
You're attacking Angel 1?
I'm attacking the same one that he hit. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
focus down on the same thing. Yeah.
Alright.
So 4 successes.
4 successes plus your 3, and all damage is aggravated. So that's 7
Jesus.
damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Jeez! You already took this dude halfway down. 1, 2,
Wow.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yup. Shit.
Do I notice any more significant impact that this leaves compared to the what I was doing before? Do I notice that myself?
When you, oh yeah, you notice it, because when you hit this thing, you see the shotgun fly out, and you hear a small blip right before it hits, and you watch as it nails it and explodes outwards in a giant cone of nuclear fire. You could see where you hit him, literally is nothing left but a giant gaping molten hole.
If I notice,
Pretty impressive.
considering that I noticed this, I have a smile on my face, but no one can see
You can't
it.
see it through.
Yep.
No one will be able to see it. You punch this thing so fucking hard. If this were a normal person, he'd just explode and die. But because it's an angel made out of metal, he just explodes in metal and kind of retains shape,
Just
although
like
he's very confused. He's like,
Shrapnel
"Not like
and
that."
slag.
Oh, it's slag all over the walls, painted on there, and melting into the wall. half the wall's burned away. It leaves a small shadow in the shape of the hole that just got punched out of him
Nice.
on the wall. And if you hit another person, he might also leave a shadow on the wall, like
Nice.
Japan. That was bad,
Very nice.
but that's historical.
Yep, there is I am pretty excited about this.
Barry comes in
Wow.
with his regular shotgun. Barry's fucking pulling weight.
No kidding.
And since you eradicated his fucking armor, you actually help. Barry goes in for a slide, shoves it into the hole, aims up, and says, "Sky high, bro!" Boom! Pulls the trigger and pop goes his head. Angel 1 dead before he ever got a fucking turn.
Damn.
Oh yeah, Zulfikar wasn't pussyfooting around with that fucking weapon when he gave it to you.
No
He gave you a
fuck.
real good gun.
No kidding.
Real good weapon. And now he's building something just for you. Alright, Ishana struggles to get up, but at this point, Jax actually looks over at Raven and says, no, she needs to live. Keep her from getting hurt. And Raven kind of slithers along the ground as quickly as she can, running over, and then jumps up on top of Ishana and just kind of sits on her head too, making it so she can't actually move. She's considered out of the fight because, yes, she is actually really fucked up.
Okay.
She took 8 fucking lethal in one
Yeah.
shot from one of those things.
Yeah, no.
The second angel-
That'd be enough to drop most people.
Yeah. The second angel, pulls itself out of the wall, and it takes a moment, and it doesn't attack this turn. It sits there and analyzes you guys. And then,
Okay.
you note that as it's analyzing you guys, its head kind of turning as it's looking at you, different parts are being swapped out. It looks sleeker, faster, less armor packed. And that's when you note that its legs are ridiculously large for its size. It's got long, lanky arms and legs, and it just looks like it moves fast.
I see.
It's gonna decide it wants to dodge this time around. And so after refitting itself, Zulfikar gets another shot. He goes in for a slash. Oh shit. Come on, rerolls. Woo! Okay, this is ridiculous. 10, so 10 total, and now he's got to dodge 10. And the amount he gets, he refits himself to get 10 in athletics and 10 in dexterity.
Wow. So this thing is just fucking.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he
Alright.
reduces that by 4 damage. So he takes 11 damage in a single shot. Zulfikar's still not fucking playing around. Odin, you're up.
I'm trying to find the rules on grappling. I've got points in grappling. I've got it for a reason, but I don't remember which book it was in. I'm trying to quickly move through them to find it. I thought it was in the core rulebook. I didn't see it. I might have skipped over it though. Oh, I found it. Oh wow, that goes up to 4. I have 2 in grappling, I think. And took it to the ground. Left screen, grapple, hold immediately render the opponent prone. Okay, so if I can manage to. Because if it is quicker, I want to try and hold it down. If I can actually manage to succeed against it, it's essentially he held to the ground. I can sort of pin it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna give that a shot.
Sure. What does it have to roll to fight against you?
See, that's the problem, is that grappling doesn't say anything about that. I think it's just my roll, so I think
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Well, let's avoid that for now, and we'll just do
Okay.
straight damage for now.
Alright,
Take
just,
care. We'll look into that later.
just do the same thing, alright. Alright, well then I'm going to do the... I'm gonna run the combo blows again this time.
Sounds good.
So the second one will be 11. Wow. Wow.
Oh shit!
Okay.
So he has to beat 9 in order
Six,
to not take the
7,
shot.
8.
Oh shit!
Oh man.
No!
Oh.
Alright, he's about to take fucking what? 1, 2, 3, 4. He's taking 9 plus your 3 aggravated. 11 fucking aggravated.
Do I need to even roll the second hit?
Yes, because he's still kind of alive unless you want Barry to finish him.
Wow, really? Alright. No.
Yeah,
Fuck.
1, 2,
I'm not
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Oh. Wow. Well, that second hit was pretty lame. There you
1,
go.
2, 3, 4.
I don't think I even made it. Well, I guess. Well, I don't know, because I don't know if it has the armor or anything. So only one
okay.
success on the second hit. So
Yeah. Let's see if it dodges.
I think it will.
-3 because it's down a lot.
Shit.
no.
Yeah. God.
Okay.
Damn,
Barry
that's-
goes in for the coup.
That second roll sucked.
Yeah, but that first roll fucked it up.
Oops.
Oh, Barry, why? Barry!
So we're gonna
Let's see
make.
if he dodges, because he probably does. He dodged the fuck out of that.
Wow.
Now he's gonna go in for an attack. He's gonna go for you. You get to now roll your athletics and
5.
dexterity to dodge.
Well,
Dexterity.
the problem with that is that I use the combo blows.
Oh yeah, so you don't get any dodge.
I do not get. It says no defense, but
Yeah, no defense. Meaning,
This is just gonna be
how much
this-
armor do you have?
it's just gonna be the same rule, I guess. Defense, dodge,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. My armor's 2.
Okay, so
Um,
subtract.
Well, unless you want the suit to give higher, then I'm pretty much at
No.
2. Okay.
Okay, so 10 damage total.
Ow.
-2, so you take 8 lethal as he slashes into you with what you can only assume is, does this motherfucker have chainsaws in his hands?
Okay.
Because he grips you and you just feel like you're being sawed into.
So 8. I wish this sheet could keep track of that better, but alright.
Zulfikar sees this and says, nope, get the fuck off of my champ. Get your own, faggot.
Nice.
My champion gives me power.
God damn,
Make me
nice. Oh my god. All these 10s. 6, 9, 11, 12.
Let's see if he can dodge. Nope.
Whoa.
Oh, wait, he's got 2.
Still pretty good.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
still pretty high.
The chain successes? No.
Ah, okay. He gets cleaved in 2. And Zulfikar kind of just nonchalantly just goes, oh, it feels good to have a champion with me again. That's how the deal works, baby. And you watch as the angel kind of, it's slumped over you and falls off, spurting oil and other dark, nameless liquids out of its neck hole.
Nice. Oh, Jax, what's the plan before we keep getting bombarded by these things?
Okay, so basically what's gonna happen is we gotta wait on them to figure out how to get people out of there. I think we might have bought ourselves some time. The God Machine won't be expecting us to actually have dealt with those other machines. And as he like continues to clatter away, you begin to realize once again he's the only person in this room who the God Machine can't see. Because everything else is showing up on the other screen, and it says, yeah, everything you guys are doing, you're supposed to do. Except when he directly does something, the God Machine doesn't predict it, and it doesn't move to try and correct itself on it. It's like it just doesn't know he's there. Like a hidden virus, a Trojan, if you will. And so these two things getting killed off didn't seem quite in the plans. And so for a while, you guys will be left alone.
Okay.
To which, we're gonna take a small break and hop over to the next room and wait until someone else comes up.
Okay.
But you do know one other thing. As soon as Jax finds this thing, Jax says, okay, from here on, I've got to actually move rooms. It doesn't know where you guys, as of right now, it's not aware that you guys have defeated those things. I need to move to another room in order to take care of something else. He's very hesitant to tell what exactly that something else is. And probably for good reason, because if you knew it, the God Machine would know it.
Yeah.
That's a problem. So he's very understandably not telling people.
Okay.
He says, I need to go find another location. I can't tell you where we're going, where I'm going. But I will be in touch with you guys. You have DMH, you have your suit tuned to our frequencies, right?
Yes.
Your DMH frequencies. He changes up his headset, turns it to your frequency, says, all right, I'll keep in contact with you. For now, Odin, you're in charge of defending this room. The others are going to need a place to come back to. Barry, you know how this machine works. Once you see the flashing light, pull them out. Get them attuned, get them figured out, get them all sorted, get their shit together. You take care of it. For now, I'm going to go. Good luck, guys. And he backs out of the room and vanishes into a corridor.
Okay.
So we're going to pause here and hop over to the next room and just see where they are.
What do you want me to do about the stream at this point?
Go ahead and pause it, go ahead and stop it and save it up.
Okay.
And we'll see where we go from there. If we need another one, we'll get another one. So just go ahead and pause it, let it save, and keep it on